Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be my showcase on Bronson Reed, the Tribal Thief. He's a modern era defensive striker. He has the raw link, the vision link, any color moves start with 5 more MP. The modern era gems do 5% more damage in the stock Tribal Thief gear. He's a coach. Purple gems do 40% more and leech gems do 60% more. That would be good on Rhea Ripley Trickster, Mommy, right? Yeah. So, 40% more purple, 60% more leech. It's fine. Not amazing, but it's fine. Solid coach. And what else? I don't think there's really too much else to say. Um, 3 build sets for you guys. My favorite is going to be the last one. And spoiler, it's a sub build. That should tell you something how I feel about him. If that's my favorite build. If you're starting off the month, just use the finisher though. It's got heavy move damage, which scales a ton at low levels and not at high levels. So you're just going to use the finisher, and the bleed is also huge. Use these 2 moves, and you should be able to go through all of his tours. I'll probably do one on the Mherex redo account, show you guys how I set him up, but just use Tsunami, Lariat, Clothesline, Black move damage. You'll probably just be able to auto everything with this. Move damage strap and metal when he levels up if you care, but it won't even matter, right? So there's that. I think I'm going to use all of his moves. Yeah, I'm going to use all of his moves. So the biggest issues I have with him are not really his fault. He's a B tier. It's kind of the way it is. You have to choose to load stuff high charge. This is typical usually with B tiers. So Wasteland 7 MP, deal 540k damage, choose 10 gems to make into black gems. It is an X-Break gem reversal. So Zombie Punk he can reverse, for example. You reverse it, deal 3.54 mil damage, and then steal their X-Breaks. Death Valley Driver 7 MP, 580k damage, modify a 7x6 random area into Immobile gems. And then the wrong finishers equipped. Then we have Tsunami, 10 MP, black move, 1 million damage, plus 180k bonus damage. It's a very small amount for every Immobile gem. Then Finisher, 2 million damage, and choose a 7x3 area to swap into green gems, pin the opponent. 3 million total damage on the Tsunami is nice, but it doesn't have anything to scale it, no gem boost, or no move damage boost or anything like that, so it's only ever going to get so high, which is not very high when you're going against top tier metals, right? So we're going to use just a Fury strap for this, 100%er with Fury 2s, no move damage metal, because that'll just skew the damage a bunch that he won't hit in competitive modes. And then for this move set, we're going to use Steel and Bloodline Sammy. That gives us 6 MP. Our turn gives us 7 green, so that gets us charged 50% Immobile gem damage. Then we have Hogan for 100% Immobile gem damage, just to show you guys how hard he won't hit even with Hogan. Dom would be a good replacement. New Showboat Dom. He's green and immobile. He might even be better potentially. But I just want to show you guys the bonus damage on the finisher is pretty light. It's 42 gems at 450k. It's like 18 million, I think. 42 gems times 450 is, yeah, 18.9 million unblockable. And you guys know how it is with immobiles. There's nothing to boost the immobile damage. There's big plates that, say a huge percentage. It just doesn't do much. And he's only making it 21 gems into green gems. So, like, Green Royal Rumble's out of the equation most of the time, probably. It's borderline. Maybe you'll get it sometimes, but not all the time with 21, a 7x3 area. You do get to choose it, so maybe you could tag a Green Royal Rumble a little bit. Anyway, we're going to look at it without stuff. You can throw the raise plate on there. That'll proc every time for 49 green gems, but you'll see. The gameplay loop is rough. It's 2-3 matches to load it. You can take Hogan off and do a 5-match 3 swipe, but that's a recipe for disaster. You don't want to run that in today's game. So you should never do a 5-match 3 swipe in anything other than a tour these days, my opinion. That's just there's no benefit to it, and you're usually then things aren't gonna go well. Anyway, let's see how big the damage is here after that 18.9 million unblockable and then 6 million gem damage. Yeah, that's a 30 million pin. That's not even close. It needs to be like almost 3 times that to keep somebody down. 2.5, let's say. If it was 60, it would be much better. 50 without plates. I mean, 40 would even be fine without plates. The immobile gem needs cranked up for him to be kind of usable, but the choose makes him not. So anyway, let's just throw a bunch on here. Immobile. So you guys can see. So this adds 350% when you make 6 or more of all of your gem damage. If they had an immobile plate that was like the anniversary plates, that would be cool. Like that would be really good potentially. And then for ultimate, right? Like there's nothing that really buffs it. You can buff your black move damage by 250%, and it is a decent size finisher, but you're gonna get you might get 9 or 10 million out of that, out of this plate, if they don't have you reduced too much. So you'd want to use move damage, metals, takedown 2, all that kind of stuff. And then you could run this. And then you can run the ultimate wind plate and get 49 green gems. We'll do a couple different things here for you guys. Wasn't planning on doing, but we'll go into the weeds a little bit, since most everyone will get the A tier. So this is with the Wind of Fate, Fist, Plate, whatever. Winds of Change, the Scorpion song. So choose 3. You got to keep Hogan on there, or it's just way too risky. All right. Random area. Boom. So let's see how this does. And then just for... So this is what I would consider whaled out. There's not a ton of these plates yet. Although this plate does not have a lot of landing spots. You can see 45 million. Still nowhere near what it needs to be with that kind of plate. So if that does 45 million, a Rumble's going to do even less, right? I don't really see any reason to put it on there and run it with the Rumble. It just doesn't really track, So the next thing is, can you go, or should you go move damage with this, and ignore some of the stuff? And you can't really do a lot for the finisher move damage. So I would leave the same setup and then just change the strap around. And the black move damage strap. So this gives us 150% green gem damage, 250% black move damage. We'll put the other plate on. Oops. Oops, if you can spell. Put up the nearing end. So that gives us 350 green, or 150, whatever, 150 green, 350 multi. So that's a 500% gem buff between the two. It's not enough, but then we have the black move damage. So we got 100% takedown, blah, blah, blah. You would do less move damage than this, though, top metal against top metal. So I usually hesitate to do this. But I'll show you guys what it translates into. This is the way I would run him. If I refuse to do the sub, which in his case I wouldn't, I would run the sub anyway in his case. Well, which is why it's at the end. Because I don't like the two choose match. So this does 7 million and 14 million, so 21 million move damage, right? And then the unblockable of 18, it gets a little better, right? So this is probably the best way to run him is with the move damage strap. But 48 million pin, but that's not really telling the truth, right? And like if I put takedown 3 on him, like I could make it look way better and skew it. Like he'll zero some people with takedown 3s when they don't have it. Like, but when you go against somebody with it, it'd be pretty ugly. If I wanted to make it look a certain way, I'd take Hogan off here and then probably just throw, Gooker on or something like that, and then put takedown 3s on and go against that, and it would just really not be an accurate statement or story. So I don't like this moveset, personally. Anyway, moving along. This is almost the same, except two new moves. And instead of immobiles, you're using multiplies, and they're black multiplies. So initially I saw this, I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is his moveset. But it's all super high charge. No way, no reliable way of putting this out two times kind of thing. You know what I mean? So you get a decent amount of multiply gems out, which is really weird because he makes 49 multiply gems into black on his finisher at 10 MP. I don't really know why. I double checked his kit like multiple times. Like, am I missing something where he can make a bunch more multiply gems? And at 9 MP, I just don't see a way you can get two sets of this out reliably. So I don't really understand this finisher making 49 multiply gems into black gems when there's only 16 on the board. He doesn't make X breaks off or multiplies off a reversal either, so it's kind of confusing. I don't know. I feel like something is askew on the treadle there, but that's just me. So basically same kind of thing. We need 7 MP. So we're going here, and the 2 MP, you could also use Armor King. That gets the multiplies up to 6. And I'm going to assume most of you running Bronson Reed don't have Leo. If you're going to run Bronson Reed, let's just assume you don't have Leo. And let's also assume you don't have Zombie Black. Because either one of those two you'd use. If you can't really use them both, because then you're back to doing a 5-match 3-swipe, and you're gonna cascade all the time. Just way too risky. So let's not do that. And let's go back to the gem damage right here. The plate that's on there is not doing anything right now. We don't need to take it off. You can whale this out more. I can show you guys. It just doesn't make sense because if you have the whaley stuff, I don't know why you would do that. But I'll show some of it, I suppose. You can actually get him to hit okay if you were to totally, and I mean totally, whale him out. But let's see. I'll show some middle ground too. But you can see how hard this doesn't hit. A 28 million. I get they don't want to make him OP, right? But I mean, at this strength, a little bit bigger area of multiply gems, maybe. 28 million is not real great when you have to choose to get there, and there's risk anyway. So, okay. Where do we go from here with him? I guess some plates. Let's put some plates on. By the way, I feel like this is a waste of any of the plates you're gonna see, but I will put them on anyway. And due diligence. I do not recommend this unless you have way more plates than you will ever need. Multi. No. No one better say it either. So 50% isn't going to do jack diddly poo enough from 28 million. So obviously this is the best option, the Stevie Nicks plate. But we're not going to use that right now. We're going to use the one that more people might have in the ministry plate. So this gets us 150% more gem damage when we make those multiplies. And then I'll show you like this. Then we'll put Zombie LA on. And then we'll put Leo on. The multiplies are small. Leo is definitely the best. But I'll show you both. And then we'll put the big boy plate on. The Stevie Nicks plate. But again, it's really hard to say, like, why would you commit really useful ultimate plates when you have to choose and run a dangerous moveset? It doesn't make sense in my brain why you would do that. Now, if you're a huge Bronson mark, I can respect that. But other than that, it doesn't make sense. 42 million with those. That's okay, I guess. It's not, but whatever. Keep in mind the sub moveset's better. That's at the end. I was like, there's this. It just is what it is. Mherex, just play the card, you know. So let's throw on here. That has to stay. Let's go Zombie LA. See how much difference that makes. I haven't even tried him yet because I didn't. Doesn't really do a lot of good to put lipstick on a pig. At the end of the day, it's still a pig, you know? That's what a wise man once told me. So we're not going to put lipstick on this pig. I knew that was going to happen. Okay. So with Zombie LA, let's see how much it went up from that 42 milli. Technically, this gets us another 40% gem damage, so it should go up a little bit, maybe 45. And nope, 44. Reduced. So, all right. So that leaves Leo. And then when I put the Stevie Nicks plate on, I'm just going to leave Leo on. Because, yeah, but it seems like a real big waste of the Stevie Nicks plate to me. And yes, I am calling it the Stevie Nicks plate. That's my prerogative. All right, now we have multiply gems of strength 9 with Leo. It's amazing that I haven't cascaded yet. McMenemy somewhere is like throwing things, kicking the dirt. I feel like at the very least a 5x5 area of multiplies. 51 million with Leo. You can see it makes a big difference, but still not really there. We'll put the Stevie Nicks plate on. You know what? Actually, here. You know, just because I know someone's going to say it, you can do what I'm going to show you. But if you do it, unless you're a Bronson Reed, Mark, you're kind of ridiculous. That's just my opinion. Whenever you activate a black move, make 7 random gems into multiply gems of strength 7. How am I already out of plate removal currency? By the way, if you have the new update and you don't know where your inventory tab is, go to your player profile and click inventory. It's moved here. It was not easy to find. In fact, I had to ask someone because I never click on that button. How often have you guys heard me say I'm looking forward to showing you the submission set? So if for some reason you decided you wanted to do this, you could do this. I'm not saying you should, and definitely not saying I would. In fact, I'm saying the opposite of that, but you could do this. Boom. Now, if you're going to do this, I have a better recommendation. Oh, that was a bit ridiculous on the cascading, but whatever. All right. It's amazing, E for 96 million. Most people don't have this stuff, right? So if you insist on doing that, there is a much better way to do it. You'll hit a little less hard, but you won't use the choose. So at the very least, if you want to waste the plates, at least be efficient with it. Let me show you. And go MP trainers. So these would both be MP trainers, right? Carmelo. I'm not going to search for him to waste everyone's time. Carmelo and Woods, 4 black MP, 4 black MP, 8 MP. This would be Santa Hogan for 9. Your turn is 10. So you start loaded this way, and then if you had Leo, you could 2-click him. If you wanted to waste a drip plate and a Stevie Nicks plate, you could 2-click him this way. And get a little bit out of him. Actually, this is maybe runnable. because you don't have to use that choose. And then you could throw the reversal in the other spot and just 2-click, it recycles itself, right? So that's not horrible. That's a big cascade. 88 million, right? So that, if I was forced to run him, that is not, I don't want to say it, that's not bad if you can 2-click it. That's pretty good, actually. But most of you, and that was a nice cascade, and we got all the multiplies, right? And you could make it look way better if you wanted to use Fury 3s and skew this, right? Or add tour perks in as well. Most of you are not going to have a drip plate and a Stevie Nicks plate. And if you have them, is this really where you want to use either of them? I don't know. We got all the multiplies again. 84 million. It's okay. That is runnable, but only by like, you know, less than 1% of the game probably. So anyway, let's move on. I didn't even make graphics for that because I'm annoyed I even showed it. Okay. The subset. This is more interesting. I've actually been waiting for this. It's really the only part of this kit I particularly like. Because it's runnable and it's steady and it's consistent and all of that. Lariat, they're all 7 MP yellows. Lariat Clothesline, 700k damage, deal 2.8 million bleed damage to your opponent for 3 turns. If the opponent's style is aggressive, first deal 700k damage and then do another 2.8, doubles it. You do 2.8 million again for 3 turns. Bottom row choke, 7 MP color submission, 10 gems to make into yellow so it recycles itself. And do 2.1 million for 3 turns. Pretty decent one. Remaining turn into Immobile gems. Pretty decent sub, that is. And then he has a kick out, which is actually kind of great for subs because you do find you get pinned a lot in subs. Deal 2.1 million damage, kick out of pin, swap 21 random gems into yellow gems. Gems broken during kick out do not deal damage to the opponent. Yes, we know that. Cannot kick out when in danger. Okay. So it kicks you out and then swaps 21 random gems into yellow gems. So what it does effectively is it reloads your kick out. Now, the bad thing is you're also going to lose your turn, right? Because you're going to kick out and then you're going to pin probably. Because you kick out and then it goes to your turn, I think. I don't know. I haven't used a kick out in forever. I could be wrong about that. But the kick out's there to bail you out. Now, if you're wondering why I went all sub trainers, because I did, because it's charged, the sub does 31.5 million, which is not bad. And the bleed does 2.8 million for 3 turns, which is basically 9 million, a little bit less. If you go all bleed trainers, you do less damage than all sub trainers. I haven't found a sweet spot really, like, so of anywhere you could. So let's say theoretically you had the best bleed person in the game at coach, which would be this guy. Now your sub goes down to, what is this, 21 million. Your bleed goes up to 16.8. So what's 21 and 21 plus 5.6, 3 turns, 16.8. 37.8 million total damage. Otherwise, we're doing 31.5 and then 9. That's like 40 million total damage. So this is your best total damage unless your opponent is aggressive. If your opponent's aggressive, then you could go bleed trainers. So if you just wanted to hunt aggressive people, then you could use your bleed trainers if you had them. But most people, I mean, are you really going to hunt aggressive? No, probably not. So just this stock is pretty good, and it's like 39 million damage a turn for a cycle. So you're going to 2-cycle most people, and it recycles itself. So I think it's the most efficient. You're just going to hit your bleed, hit your sub, and then carry on about your day after you do that a second time. At least for what's in the game now, right? No, I'm sure he'll get other stuff. A tier usually does. There's lots of mobile plates they could come out with. Lots that could change how he plays. You also have moments that could change how he plays significantly. For example, strength of multiply gem moment on him would be huge, right? Absolutely massive. But you can see it's an easy 2-cycle win, and that's why this is my favorite build set. Doesn't require anything. You don't even need a strap for this, and it's just 2-cycle wins. This would actually be pretty useful, honestly. Even like on my free to play, this is useful. And you get the sub before 6-star, which is nice. You don't have to wait all the way to 6-star. The kick out is the 6-star move, if I'm not mistaken. So that's my favorite moveset on him, and I actually do like that. I think it's pretty good. I like bleed sub combos in general together. They go together well. So I like that. This has potential if you want to whale and 2-click, but I mean, it seems kind of wasteful. But that 2-click is pretty good with the drip and the Stevie Nicks plate. It's just, I don't get it. I wouldn't do it. Unless I was a Bronson Reed mark, then I absolutely would. And this one just needs some kind of love. I don't know, like double the Immobile base strength or something. But they might do it. They did it with Ray last month because Ray was completely underwhelming, and then with everything hit super hard. So you never know what they'll do with Scopely. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this showcase. I won't rate him because he's simply, not one of the best strikers. But that 2-click with the whaley plates is really interesting if, you had a bunch of them sitting around for some reason. And other than that, though, this is the way I will run him on my accounts. And then when the month is over, I'll just use him for CSS. And he's actually will win really effectively this way as CSS too, because you don't need to worry about setting up a strap and all that. So I kind of like him. Actually, even though he's not like great, I do like the sub moveset. I just don't want to play with subs very often, if that makes sense, right? What else? This moveset, usable in Titan too, because it's a 2-cycle moveset once you're started, right? So he doesn't have a hot tag or anything like that, but it is usable in Titan. You could grow the damage a little bit with the right plates, so it is kind of usable in Titan too. Not great, but I mean, it's worth mentioning. He has some boss utility because he can destroy green gems. I don't know. Not somebody I'll probably take up because I don't love his coach. Other than, if I get the fuse, yes. But I don't have any plans to take him, If I didn't get the fuse, then I wouldn't. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed the showcase. Remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. He's just It's fine for a B tier. Not amazing. He's got some usable subset. Can hit hard if you whale him out. I guess he's fine. I don't know.